Hey everyone, welcome to the Turnbuckle Tavern's AEW Rampage recap. Man, I'm pumped for this one, the first ever Rampage.
Yeah, man, the first episode of this new Rampage era, man. It's gonna be exciting, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a bit. Hold on a second.
What is it?
Hold on. I think.
And everybody was wondering who the third man was. Is he the third man? He's the third man.
Oh,
He
no.
is the third man.
Oh,
Look
God,
at that
no.
picture.
Uh-oh. I think we have a. Oh,
hey.
man. Look who has joined the live stream tonight.
He's coughing. He's coughing.
He's all.
Post Rampage smoke.
He couldn't be prepared.
We catch him mid
couldn't be-
cough.
Couldn't be
I thought I
prepared
had
to
a
come
bit
on
more
live.
time, honestly. I didn't realize it was coming so soon.
You're the third man, dude.
Great. I love it.
Yeah.
So what an episode!
Oh,
Wait,
we got
is it time for the SmackDown recap show?
we got a run in.
Wrong
didn't even
show, Tom.
What's happening?
Who needs the SmackDown recap show when we just saw Rampage? That was fire, man.
John, smoke it if you got it. Well, here at the tavern, it's a little bit of
Chock full of it.
Chock full of style and grace
Style and
here
grace.
at the tavern.
well.
Oh my!
Tom, yeah, you stopped by tonight. You got a SmackDown recap coming up.
Yeah, when this show goes off, SmackDown recap's coming on.
I guess
Let's
the
not worry about
tavern.
that right now.
I guess the tavern on Friday nights is just recap city.
That's right. Recap City, bitches. Young Anthony, calm yourself down. You'll be
Man,
on
I
in a
didn't know
little
this
bit.
technology existed. Crazy.
Oh yeah, man.
It's blowing his mind, right? Look
It's
at
blowing-
him.
Fucking blown. I'm in
Hawks
the
on another
future.
planet.
Wow.
I'd like to be on that planet.
It's the first bull hit that took me into the future. I knew it was possible.
Here we are.
Here
Oh,
we
boy.
go. This is Rampage recap, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, this is
So-
what you signed up for.
This show,
Wow.
man, an hour. It's weird seeing just an hour of wrestling. I'm so used to the 2-hour format. I feel like they
Yeah.
jam packed an hour worth of cool shit.
I mean, could it have been a better hour? It was absolutely perfect from start to finish.
Yeah, it started off. The whole show, the entire show.
I want to
Crowd-
get I do have a little critique at the top.
All right.
And this will be the only, I think probably the only like massive critique I have. I was expecting a set change.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about? I mean, pretty much the only thing different was the ring skirt and the skirts on the guardrails. Other than that, the stage was the same. The tunnels were the same. Did you guys have a problem with that?
Well,
Or
I don't have a problem with it. And you got to think a lot of nights they're going to be filming the same night as Dynamite. So they can't really pull down a set and put up another set. So just continuity for now. I have no issue with it.
well, they're not going to be filming the same night because it's live.
Rampage is
Both
live.
shows are
Rampage isn't
live.
going to be live every week. They said some weeks it's going to be recorded.
Oh, really? I didn't hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Yep.
Now,
Well, that makes sense. That
but
makes sense.
between the tunnels, was the screen that was between the tunnels, was that new? Or had that been
No, they've implemented that because if you remember when Hangman came out with the Dark Order, there
that's
was the Grand Canyon scene behind him. So
Yeah.
that's been on Dynamite as well.
Austin says his buddy was at Rampage, said there's never been a louder live
That's what I was gonna say. The crowd was insane there, like super loud.
Yeah.
Both on Dynamite and on Rampage, both they brought it.
Yeah. Anthony's right. The crowd was fucking electric. I'm excited to see the dark tapings. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. We've got so accustomed to the pandemic era of wrestling, and yeah, Dynamite has been, getting us back used to those crowds. But Dude, this Pittsburgh crowd, we talked about it for the Dynamite show. Like, they were on fire.
They really were. It was, and even for a home crowd reaction, it's one of the best home crowd reactions I've ever heard anybody get that Britt gets. It's like amazing.
Well, I feel like this reaction she's getting is showing like she's a top 2 or 3 homegrown star in that company. I mean, you could argue MJF and Darby Allin, but Britt is right at the top of that argument. I feel like
I think you can remove the homegrown out of there. She's top 2 or 3 in this company right now.
Easily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they kicked off with Omega, Kenny Omega and Christian Cage. I mean, what a way to kick off a new show with a title match.
Yeah, they were trying some new camera work in there, I swear. Like, I was watching and it was like every shot was like a Bourne movie. It was like a 0.2 second here, 0.2 second there. And I was like, it kind of took me out right off I think they got it under control as the show went on, but right at the beginning, I don't know if you guys felt like it was off, the camera work.
I feel like some of the show throughout the whole show, it was like they were kind of getting their feet under them with this new announce team, they were trying a little bit of new stuff here and there, which I liked.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
They've done everything right.
The first like 5 minutes of the Cage Omega match just felt so jumpy. The camera just felt like they couldn't decide how they wanted to shoot it. And it just kept going from different camera to different camera, like every 1 second.
I feel like, they were trying a little bit different, but dude, Hawk, you don't watch modern day WWE.
That's exactly
so.
What I was
if you're used to that modern day WWE where they're like zooming in, zooming out, cut, it's so overblown and so terrible that this didn't seem as egregious to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't
the WWE
break
one
something
makes you
or
nauseous.
don't fix something that isn't broken. Like they've nailed cameras in the ring since the 90s. Like they don't need to go and try to revolutionize that.
Right. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Stick with what's worked, man. It's what's got you through to here.
Yeah.
We have the comment on a 4-man booth. What did you guys think of the 4-man booth?
I didn't mind it. I feel like in the beginning, it was funny when they were breaking down the card for the night, and each guy was taking. I think Jericho set up the Kenny Omega the Britt match, but when Mark Henry, because he's the one who's kind of a fish out of water, he's never been in this position. Yeah. When Henry was talking about Miro and Fuego, he wasn't snappy and quick with it. It was like he took a little more time. So I feel like he's got to get his legs under him, realizing you got to talk in sound bites. You can't pontificate when you're a commentator. You got to go. But
I'm sure there was also nerves there tonight, being his first night in the commentary booth.
Yeah.
And it can't be as easy doing it with 4 men because it's kind of hard with 4 men to be your first night to be so many people saying stuff. I can't imagine that's the best way for him to adjust to it, but I enjoyed everybody's announcing. Well, Mark Henry, he was really good when he did speak.
No, he was, and Tony Khan came out and said he's not going to be on the commentary booth ever. Right. Like he's going to be doing mostly backstage stuff. Doing those, I thought that stuff that he did, the split screen with Britt and Red Velvet, the kind of locker room reporter type thing he did with Christian after the big win. Those type of things I think is what Mark Henry's going to be doing more of, and it'll probably predominantly be Jericho, Taz, and Excalibur. And Taz and Excalibur have really got such a good chemistry from doing Dark together.
Yeah. But man, talk about that first match and how well it was booked and what a great match it was, and Christian booked away how smart he is. Like you could see things you don't normally see with a guy versus Omega, the way he was like reversing things or anticipating things. It was a hell of a booked match. They both look phenomenal, which Omega always does. We know Christian's mind for wrestling. Man, I love that match. I loved everything about that match.
And I think that match, it was good. I love the pacing in the beginning of it, but like the final 5 minutes of that match, were incredible.
Okay, we lost Sneed, but yeah, it was.
Okay.
I mean, I also love the fact they brought Brian Hebner into ref it and made it feel super important to Impact.
Oh yeah, he's such a good ref. He's such an underrated ref.
Yep.
No, I loved the match, but it just more solidifies like that just can't be the main event at All Out. I just stand by it. I just don't accept it. Like we saw it tonight. It was a great match. Everybody agrees. But like it's too soon to see it again. In my opinion.
That's why I think there's
supposed to be that.
I'm with you. I'm still not buying in that's. I feel like something's up. Something's got to happen.
Well, I mean, now you figure all the titles will be on the line at the pay-per-view if they go through with that match. I guess they built it up to have somebody's going to walk out with all the titles to have Omega recapture all of them, I wonder.
Yeah, and I believe Omega goes to Mexico tomorrow to defend his championship there in AAA, and I'm wondering, is he going to? I think he faces Andrade.
Right.
Yeah.
And if he drops that belt tomorrow, I'm wondering if they're positioning Omega to win against, if we're staying the course with him and Christian at All Out. I'm wondering if they're positioning Omega to win it All Out, but not just be the AEW title where Christian can keep that Impact title. And I think they're positioning Omega for possibly a Daniel Bryan or a CM Punk feud where the belt collector thing kind of goes away and we're going to get into a singles match just for the AEW title with one of the big guys coming in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, so you think the main event at All Out could be like CM Punk versus Omega?
No. I don't know what's going to happen. I still think there could be something happen to make that match not happen. I'm not positive that that's going to happen. But I do think after All Out, we're going to see Omega transition into either Daniel Bryan or CM Punk.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think after tonight, I feel like we're going to get the rematch at All Out with Christian and Omega. Going into tonight, I wasn't sure, especially if Omega had won. So it kind of builds up a reason to have the rematch now.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I got the exact opposite feeling from that match. After that match, I'm like, there's no way they're going to do the same thing at the pay-per-view less than a month later, in my opinion.
It is a hard, like, how do you tell that story?
Yeah, I get that point.
Yeah, that is tough. I mean,
and it came out of nowhere. Like there was no build up to this really, and then it's like 2 straight matches in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong.
I mean, after the match, they had, Christian was in the back, and he said, Kenny, I'm in your head now.
I do like that old school type style of meeting the wrestlers right there, and then they have that. I remember that a lot from the 90s, and then didn't really feel like it happened much during the pandemic.
I love the way they kept Kenny strong by him getting taken out with that kill switch on the chair.
Yeah, what a way he sold that. Oh, that looked beautiful, didn't it? Oh,
yeah, man. Yeah. He ate shit. I mean, he ate shit on that chair. There was the shot was right on it.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I had that in my notes. What a beautiful shot that was.
Perfectly executed, man.
Yes, he couldn't have executed it any perfect. Wow.
You got you get the Bucks coming down. You've got Callis jaw jacking with the ref. The Bucks come down, slide the chair in, and you're thinking, "Oh, here we go again." And then the turn, kill switch. Yeah. The whole time. This is why I love pro wrestling, though. That ref, he's like completely occupied with Callis for like 3 minutes.
Oh, they're in this full blown argument for it. Like,
there's chaos happening behind him. He's not even turning once to see what's going on. He's just totally locked in with that argument with Don Callis. That's a pro wrestling thing you just have to love.
Yeah, it's the whole third act of the match. The ref has his back turned.
It was Brian Hebner. He was the ref.
Hebner's great, man. Hebner's one of the most underrated refs in the game right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys caught it. I don't know if you guys caught it either, but after the kill switch on the chair, as he was pinning Omega, if you look, Callis he was trying to get in the ring. I guess he was going to try to break it up.
I saw that. Yeah.
He trips on the rope, falls on his face. It was just a perfect ending, man.
How good is Don Callis? Just even doing a little something like that in the background.
Great. Yeah.
He is gold. He is freaking gold.
Callis gets points just for the pink scarf that he was rocking. Like, what a douchebag.
And the other thing I loved with the interview with Henry is the real feel it had to it, and Christian telling him how happy he is that he's there. Like, I love that real feel stuff. That like he just stopped to say that. Like, that gets me every time. That's the type of stuff I love in wrestling.
It felt like real. That's where you get that real sport feel.
Yes, genuine emotion like that.
Yeah, he's got the bottle of bubbly that he even like references. He's got Jericho's bubbly in his hand. They're all celebrating. He looks like he's just been in a war. That's stuff that separates it from Dynamite to me.
Yes.
Like, it's because we don't, I mean, we get backstage interviews in Dynamite, but not like that. That felt like we were in the locker room of a Super Bowl winning team, like getting those interviews like right in the moment. It didn't feel like a pre-tape, it felt like we're there. We're in the heat of the moment.
Did you guys notice Orange Cassidy just hanging out in the back there?
Yes. I was expecting something to happen with that. He's just sitting there leaning against the wall watching.
He just stood there. Did nothing, just stood there.
It's so good.
I actually didn't see him.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool too that they showed Chris Statlander in the crowd early, and they showed the Varsity Blondes early. Henry did kill it tonight, Anthony. Like,
yeah.
And you know what I liked about Henry? He wasn't polished. Like, you could tell this is the first time he's getting his feet wet with this, because and that to me made it feel more organic and more real. Like, I almost liked that he's not this well-polished commentator guy.
Especially when you're around three other guys who are super polished and the best at what they do.
Right.
Like, it just adds something to it. So. What's up,
Mo?
Mo
What's up, Mo?
Oh,
I didn't see this. John says Hangman in it for a triple threat, perhaps at All Out. Could he weasel his way into a triple threat? But Hawk,
I read he's taking time off for his kid. I guess it was pre-planned time off.
Yeah.
It's insane to me that if you're taking time off to build a storyline and just stop it abruptly, it's like, oh, it was planned, don't worry. It's like, yeah, the fact that it was planned and you motherfuckers still went on with the storyline. Fucking
it's true.
Fired up.
But if they don't, when they find they will come back to the Hangman situation.
Oh, yes.
No,
that's not
obviously.
It's not
Obviously, I'm just saying. It's more because I'm going to be there, and that's the match I wanted to see in the main event that I think that gets me fired up about it.
Yeah. I think a lot of us were wanting to see that.
Well, but too bad, Hawk.
Yeah.
Now you're getting Cage and Omega.
No, I'm not. You watch. It ain't happening.
I mean, I could see Hangman somehow getting involved, but like you said on the podcast this week, Hawk, I don't know if they would book Kenny Omega in two main event triple threats back to back. He just had that triple threat at Double or Nothing. Would they do another triple threat? That was the first triple threat they ever did. I don't see that.
They're not doing it again. That's what AEW does right. They're not going to be doing another triple threat so fast.
Fuck you, Tyson.
Tyson, yes.
Yeah.
You.
We got somebody that
you don't know
Tyson
me.
knows.
Tyson's the best.
Tyson's the number one fan for that. He just popped me hard. Fish on.
What about Christian also giving a middle finger? Like,
he did the gun and
that was awesome too.
Yeah,
like he was
that's at
so
10 p.m.
That's exactly. He was he's so sharp, Christian. I love everything he does. Everything like
power
he just did
bomb,
it perfectly.
The power bomb off the top.
Yep.
He was.
That power bomb off the top looked brutal.
Yeah.
It did.
Like a little slip here or there, and somebody's going to the hospital.
The one where Omega hit the mat really hard.
It was a sunset flip, right?
It was a flip, and it sounded harder than a normal one to me.
Yeah. And I love, this is taking it back to when they first started the match. I love Omega comes out draped in gold, and the ref takes the one title, and it's the classic heel thing. He demands the ref unbutton the other title. He's like, no, you're going to unbutton this one too. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could have easily just took it off.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm a champion. I don't touch that. That's your job to unlatch my belt.
Yep.
But I mean, the final 5 minutes of that match, honestly, that's the beauty of Christian. Christian is so good at pacing a match, and typically those last 5 or 6 minutes, the near falls that they were hitting, there were so many moments where you thought, oh, this could be it. And beautifully executed, beautiful storytelling.
Yeah, and what a perfect way to get gold around Christian's belt, around his waist, without having him win the AEW title.
Yep. And he's got that history.
So strong. He's got the Impact history. He looks so strong right now. Like, I'm so happy for him. He's been one of my favorite guys for the longest time.
So we get Christian Brian Myers now?
Yeah, that'll be
for
the
Brian
next
Myers.
Impact pay-per-view. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a match that'll be.
That'll be a great match for Brian.
Yeah, those two guys, they both are smart workers. I think it'll be a phenomenal match. I think it's going to shock a lot of people how good it'll be.
That's a good point, too. Austin says they made it a point to say that the AEW title was more prestigious.
They did. They should. It's their show. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you got to put your own belt
title
over.
in all of sports and all of wrestling, they said. I mean, I have no problem with that. That was a great point.
And honestly, for me right now, I know, like, we're not arguing what belt has the longest lineage or the most history, but as far as if we're talking strictly just prestige, there's no belt in the game right now that has more prestige to me, just off of Chris Jericho, John Moxley, Kenny Omega. Every single champion they've had has had like 180 plus day reigns. They're not flip-flopping this title, which to me, if you don't flip-flop it, it builds prestige with a belt. And there is no, like, whoever wins that title next, I feel like it feels important. Like, they've already created this lineage with that belt that I don't feel like they're going to steer away from. They're going to continue to make that belt. Like, when you have that belt, your reign is going to be important.
Dude, it feels so much more important because there's only, like you said, there's only been 3 champions in the 2 years they've been around.
Right.
Like, that's amazing. It's not like
it's a big
not
deal.
flip-flopping. There's not 2 main titles like on some other shows, or it's amazing. That title, to me, that's exciting when that title is being defended and when it changes hands, because it means something. And the same thing, even with the TNT title, that feels like it means like what the Intercontinental title used to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing that really makes it interesting for me right now with Omega is Moxley is the longest reigning AEW World Champion. I think he's at like 270 some days. Omega's at 250 some days. So Omega's about to become the longest reigning champion.
Wow.
Which is just another feather in that douchebag cap.
Yeah.
To be able to flaunt it. I'm the longest reigning champion this company has seen. You know, he'll be able to, Don Callis, I'm sure, is going to let us know of that fact the day it happens.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
But strong. Love the backstage thing with Henry. The Fuego vignette.
Oh yeah,
they made you care about this guy whose record I believe was like 1-38 coming in.
Yeah.
But I verbally said, like, out loud by myself, I was like, "Oh, nice promo, dude. Your head's gonna get smashed in."
We all knew.
But I tell you, man, he was fire to start the match. It was exciting.
I mean, he hit right off the bat. We got the tornado 3. Well, yeah, before the bell even rang, he hits a tornado DDT,
and then hits another one. I love Miro almost gets counted out. He gets hit with those 2 tornado DDTs, rolls out of the ring. That's a vet move. You know, Miro rolls out of the ring. He barely slides in at 9.5, and then gets hit with another one. Fuego goes for the pin, and then there's that really tight near fall. So I love that they made Fuego this underdog that you're like, for a split second, you're like, are they going to do this? You know, like for a split second.
Yeah, they booked it, and I agree with this, Austin. You know, Miro stays dominant.
Yep. You thought you knew sooner or later.
What is it?
He's 1-40.
1-40.
1-40. Wow.
You knew once Miro got composed, you knew it was going to be quick too. It was booked so perfect.
As soon as he started jumping in the corner, I was like,
it's over.
He's gonna die now.
Yeah, well,
he's so good in this role. It's so awesome to see him dominating.
He's a monster, and the thing that I know a lot of critics, you know, those loyalists out there that want to shit on AEW, they're going to say, you had a guy with a 1-39 record go against a title. I thought this was a sports centric. This was supposed to be sports centric. Why is this guy's not even in the rankings? How can you give him a title shot? But that's what the beauty of the TNT title is to me, is it's got that open challenge feel.
Yep.
It's not strictly by the rankings.
Yeah, that's true. That's for the world title.
Yeah.
For the AEW title. So
I mean, that goes back to the genesis of that title when Cody was going against Warhorse and all of these people.
Eddie Kingston.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one good match he had during his run as TNT title, Eddie Kingston.
We got a Cody hater in the group.
We got a realist. We got a realist in the room. Everybody watch out.
Hey, but here's the thing, man. He's a Cody hater, but who went to the second round of the Invitational?
Yeah.
I was ignorant of his theme song. But that tells you how disinteresting he is. I don't even know his fucking theme song, and I hear it every week.
But you love it.
No, you put it up against fucking hold music. Like hold please.
That's not who it went up against. It went up against Baron Corbin.
Oh,
and how dare you disparage the good name of the Beverly Brothers by calling them musical?
Yeah, come on, man.
Thank you.
Right there with him.
Thank you.
Oh, young Anthony.
Young Anthony, having your back. Miro did for God and Flexible Hot Wife. Yes, he did.
God's favorite champion.
I have a feeling we're going to see that hot Flexible Wife soon.
Oh, she's on her way for sure. There's no way she doesn't show up.
He keeps mentioning her. Exactly. She's going to show up.
Exactly. She'll be there soon.
No way.
She's showing up. So what did you guys think about Sammy coming out with Tony Khan?
First of all, like I popped just seeing Tony Khan come out, like cause we haven't even.
We never see him.
Yeah.
The only time I think we saw him was on a Brody tribute show, right? When he came out at the end.
Yeah, and he came out on an episode of Elevation and made a match like one time against. I think he made a match between Matt Sydal and Kenny Omega when Elevation first started, but that's really it.
So his appearances still feel special. So him coming out, I pop for that. I love Sammy. Like I want to see as much Sammy as I can right now. So even if it's a little bit, there's something that guy brings. There's a charisma he has that like it's special. So I wish we'd see a lot more of him. And we're gonna see a lot more of him, especially now that we have a third hour of TV a week.
Here's a question for you: do you think Fuego knew that was going to happen?
No,
absolutely. No, I think he did. So. He was hovering around in the ring, you know.
I don't think he did. I think that was true emotion.
I was gonna say he looked very emotional to.
I think everyone else knew. On his face. I think Sammy knew. Obviously,
but they
Tony
said
Khan
on Dynamite, they're like Sammy has a very special announcement on Rampage.
On Dynamite.
On
Dynamite tonight.
On Dynamite on Wednesday, they said Sammy Guevara has a very special announcement on Rampage.
They did say that. On Rampage tonight, they said he has an announcement on Dynamite.
I thought on Dynamite they said he had a special announcement next week on Dynamite because they also
maybe that's what it was. I just put those 2 and 2 I put that together for some reason that tonight that was his announcement. Like, oh, my friend's gonna sign with AEW even though he's 1-40.
I think Anthony's onto something. I hope they held off on telling Fuego he was getting signed up until tonight. Hope they were just stay in the ring and sell it.
Yeah, that's what I think happened.
I think that's exactly what happened. The ref probably got a cue in his ear and said, "Tell Fuego to hang out and sell it, sell the match." And then here comes Tony and Sammy.
Yeah,
You're so naive. You're getting played. You're getting played.
I'm getting worked. Such a mark.
Come on.
Such a fucking mark.
This is a guy who thought that Omega really burned his eyes because they had water at ringside.
I stand by that. I stand by that.
Yeah, talk about somebody who gets worked. Hawk gets worked more than anybody.
No, Hawk's the biggest mark out there. Look at him.
No.
Oh, it's so true.
Burned his eyes. Good call, Tom.
Oh man,
I'm just called you out, man.
Nick's in the room for an hour show. It felt like straight main events after another. 100%.
You know what it felt like? It felt like an
show.
old school Saturday night's main event.
It did. It felt special.
It did feel special, man. It really, really did. I loved the presentation. Like you said, Mark Henry in the back, and then you cut to Darby Allin and Sting in the rafters, and you hear Taz's comment, "Leave him up there." I cracked up at that.
Dude, if you really think about the overall booking of this show, this is something that I feel like Tony Khan doesn't get enough credit for. Just when you talk about Dynamite, how well he books those with vignettes and backstage interviews and matches. Well, tonight he had that on display again because we kicked this show off with a 25-minute match. So instantly when I'm watching this show, I'm like, fuck, dude, they've only got 35 minutes left. But the way he booked it with this long, awesome title match up front, and then we get this squash match that has this kind of very emotional ending with Fuego finally getting the contract. We get a few backstage interviews with Mark Henry sprinkled in, and then you cap it off with a women's world title match. I just felt like for an hour, it was expertly put together.
Yeah, it really was. It really, really was. So I love it. Like this is if they're gonna have the third hour like this, let it be like this. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect.
Sneed, did you see Fuego getting a contract? Did you have a feeling they were going to do that?
I did.
I did too.
I did for sure.
I felt like it was.
I just want to say that we talked to Fuego about that.
Yep.
Before we lobbied for him to get the contract when we had him on the show.
Yeah, go back in our archives on YouTube.
Yeah, you can find our interview with Fuego. It was a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah. I saw it. There was two things I saw coming, and Tom will know that I spoke about this earlier. I said that Christian was going to win that belt.
Yes, he did.
I just felt for a Rampage, you're going to have a title change. Tony wants people to think that big things could happen on this show. And you're not going to take the belt off of Miro. You're not going to take the belt off of Brett. You're going to take that Impact title off. And I thought, I'm like, what a great way to placate the AEW hardcore fans by finally giving Fuego that contract. Even it didn't ruin it by being predictable, but I liked it a lot. I thought it was well done.
I agree. Now, if you want to keep it feeling big, what do you do next week? Who do you bring in?
Well,
who'd they announce without saying it again? Sneed, what's the percentage out after tonight's show, Sneed? That's what I want to know.
After tonight's show, what's the percentage?
Yeah.
Somewhere between 85-90.
Okay.
For what?
I know you had dropped it back down to 85, so it's back.
CM Punk.
Somewhere between 87. I'll split the difference.
I give it 100%. Because there's no way you book the United Center, call it the first. People will literally walk away from AEW. They'll be like, you know what? Fuck you guys. No.
Why do you think that means Punk will be in?
I don't even know who Punk is, really. I just hear he's a big deal. And all I know is from what I've been reading on the internet, like, if he doesn't show up, it's there's going to be a revolt. Not from me, because I don't even know who the fuck he is, but people who are expecting it. It's 100%. 100%.
For new people, for people that do not know Hawk is on our podcast every Thursday, and he hasn't religiously watched wrestling since the early 90s. But he's been watching Dynamite now, or AEW now, for what, Hawk, a year? Or a little over a
last year is when I started.
Yeah. So all of these new people showing up, Hawk's clueless, which makes it great for the podcast.
We got this rookie CM Punk coming in next week.
But I love what Hawk said. Hawk says he's got to be at the United Center. Yeah, no shit. The joke is that Sneed still doesn't believe it because every motherfucker in the world believes it. Like,
young Anthony, listen. Until he's on the stage, I'm not going to be at 100%.
It's like a drug deal, man. It's drugs. You know what? Until you get the buzz.
I'll take it 87.5, but yeah.
Yeah. It's 100%. It's fine.
Yeah.
We got a real beef.
This Tyson guy fucking picking a fight with me. I'm afraid.
You leave Tyson alone. He's our number one fan.
I love it. Tyson's just giving shit to Hawk.
Tyson, keep it up, man. Give it to him. He deserves it.
Shit all over this dude.
He deserves it.
Go buy a Hawk Sucks Eggs t-shirt while you're at it.
I'm in Covington, Georgia, whenever you want to go. I've been watching wrestling for a year and a half now. I know all the moves.
It's going down. Hawk versus Tyson in a 5x5 ring.
Dominate the 5x5.
Get the 5x5 ring.
Boy.
5x5.
So the Darby Sting in the rafters. That I love that. That's all they have to do to make fans go buck wild for CM Punk. They just show them up there with Darby and his weird red fingernail gloves. I don't know what was going on with that. But then they show the United Center and they show that clip of him saying the best in the world. We all know what's coming. I can't wait to see how they do it. I can't wait to see how he debuts. Like, how does he come out? What are they going to do?
It'll be cool if they announce a Darby match for next Friday on Dynamite. They're going to have to announce something. They're going to announce the card. So next week's right. There we go. Book it.
Book it.
Let me go wait till next week. I'm here right now.
Austin has the pencil. He's booked the match.
Oh God!
And if Tony Khan won't book it, Boney Khan will.
Yeah, Boney. We'll get Boney Khan on the phone.
Boney Khan.
At least I know.
Hey, I know of being hosed. That's enough.
You're getting hosed. You're getting hosed on the show.
He just said that's enough. He's getting hot.
He's getting hot over here.
Human.
So, how do you bring out Punk? Do you just bring him out, or does he come out in a physical way? Does he? Like, how does he come out and say nothing? Does he come out and cut a promo? Does he interrupt someone? What do you do?
It's funny. I think of what we're used to doing, and we know Tony Khan's going to do something absolutely different, and it's going to be awesome. Like, usually they just show a person and he doesn't speak. I wouldn't be shocked to see CM Punk come out and just cut a promo right away next week. So I would not be shocked.
He is going to eventually cut a promo that's going to make all the WWE fans' panties get in a bunch. He's going to piss he's going to do something where he throws shade at WWE and everyone's going to be crying about it.
Oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait for it too. Make them all mad. Piss them all off.
Yeah.
I love it.
It'll be better than a pipe bomb. Have you ever watched a pipe bomb yet, Hawk?
I have watched it, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you do know who Punk is a little bit.
Well, I mean, I know, but I don't know it in context. Like, I've literally watched that. So,
yeah,
it sounds like he's serious in it in some things, but you never know. Like, has he came out and clarified, like, it is, like, he meant some of the stuff, I think he said?
He absolutely meant it.
He meant it. It was one of those things where Vince said, here's a live mic, go say whatever you want. And he went and said whatever he wanted.
And Vince said, I'll cut it off when I'm ready when you go too far. Well, he didn't tell him that, but that's what Vince did. He cut it off when he started to get to where he didn't like it anymore.
Yep.
So the cutoff was real. That was like Vince is like, nope, you've had your time.
Yeah.
I just think it's hilarious that John Cena has to act like he's hurt for like 10 minutes in the ring. The whole time he's giving the pipe bomb. Like Cena's like dazed in the ring, and all he did was go through a fucking table. That happens all the time, and they'll go through like 10 tables and they get up and finish the match. He goes through one table at the end of the match, and he has to act hurt for 10 minutes while CM Punk gives this fucking promo.
You know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction here.
Okay.
I think Tony Khan's going to shock the world and let CM Punk kick off the show next week.
It's a hell of a way to grab people by the balls right out of the gate.
Yeah. That's what Tony Khan likes to do.
I mean, you're saying like what Anthony said, start the show, just hit cult of personality. Fuck it. Why wait? I mean, that's the way to do it. Like if you do that right out of the gate, don't hold it to the end. Every motherfucker with a remote in their hand and a Twitter or a friend who watches wrestling is going to change the channel to Rampage and see what the hell's going on.
Oh, it's definitely a top of the show. I don't know if it's going to be like right off the bat, but it's in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If he shows up, that's probably what it will be.
I just want to give a quick update. For all you guys back in the ring, we're 74 away from the aprons.
What's that?
They sold like 4,000 rings today of the arenas. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it is crazy.
Wow.
Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
They sold what? I'm sorry, I missed the whole thing.
The new Mattel is doing a new gen arena crowdfunded thing.
You're just going to confuse him.
Hawk, you're out of your element. You're like a child who's wandered into the room.
I don't give a shit anyway.
You lost him at crowdfund. He was done.
Yeah.
Just
I don't care.
Spark some style and grace, dude, and we'll move on to the next segment.
Do it. Next match. Move on. I'm ready to move on.
So, what'd you guys think of this split screen with Red Velvet and Britt?
I liked it. It was different.
I liked it. I thought
it felt like a UFC, how the UFC does that.
The only critique that I have of it is, could somebody get Mark Henry a paper towel?
Sweating bullets.
This guy was sweating, but that's an understatement. This guy was drenched.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, he's lost 100 pounds. And he's still sweating like that.
Yeah.
Anthony's got it. What's the viewership going to be like for next week? What are y'all thinking? I think it's going to be through the roof.
It's going to be through
insane.
The roof.
Yeah.
I think the highest they've popped in recent weeks outside of the very first Dynamite, I think they've been hitting 1.1s, 1.2s.
Yeah, they hit a 1.15 a couple weeks ago.
I think they could hit a 1.3 maybe.
Yeah.
If people really want to see Punk return, 1.2, 1.3 maybe.
You don't think the Friday night 10 o'clock thing will hinder it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
If it was on Dynamite, I wouldn't be surprised 1.5.
Yeah.
I could see that.
But what else are wrestling fans doing on Friday nights that it's like, oh, I'm not gonna catch Rampage?
What are you saying about wrestling fan talk? What are you saying?
We're not all single basement dwellers, Hawk.
Yeah, all you motherfuckers watched Rampage tonight, so I don't know what you're talking about. We're all the exact same.
Point made.
So I think that wrestling fans are going to be 1.5. I agree with old Titantron here.
Well, here's the thing that I think could hurt it. One, like Tom said, I think the time slot could hurt it. And I do think there's a large section of WWE fans and just pro wrestling fans in general who are kind of like Sneed and just kind of gave up on him returning, and they're like, whatever, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, but they'll still pop. You know what? How many people are going to go back and watch it online and look for clips on YouTube? Like, we'll see. I'm curious. Let's see what this week's ratings are first before we try predicting.
Yeah, but you got to think about this too. SmackDown goes off at 10.
That's true.
So
that is true.
So SmackDown goes off at 10. These wrestling fans are going to be on Twitter. They're going to see the scuttlebutt about CM Punk possibly showing up, possibly coming. They're going to leave SmackDown already in a wrestling mode and go over to TNT.
Right.
I mean,
and
that may very well help. That might help tonight's Rampage ratings too. You never know. Yeah. They put on a hell of a show tonight. Like,
I think that's the beauty of this time slot. I know a lot of people shit on this time slot. It's too late. Well, it's an hour at 10 p.m. But I think the beauty of it is you are getting that SmackDown lead in. I think that'll help.
Yeah, that definitely will help.
But
especially now that they're going to know it's there every week. It's going to be consistent. It's not like when they moved Dynamite for a couple weeks.
Right. I think the important thing to get back to, though, is Sneed talking about how sweaty Mark Henry was. And Austin says he was so moist. I'm a bigger guy, so I know the pain. I'm with you, dude.
We get it, dude.
I'm with you. I'm a mailman, so all I do is sweat all day.
Hawk knows. Hawk stayed in hotel rooms with us.
It's got to be the lowest it can go. 60 if that's the lowest. 55 if that's the lowest. Whatever.
Hawk, when me, you, and Sneed went to Double or Nothing, what was the average temperature in the hotel room at night?
60 degrees for sure. That's as low as it would go.
You know, wonder why we get along, because I'm the same way. When I'm even in my own bedroom, I make it as cold as can be before.
Polar bear, man. I'm a polar bear.
Me too. 100%. I hate to be hot when I'm sleeping. Just make it as cold as it could be.
And
Fabulous disaster.
Yeah.
Dude, enjoy all wrestling, man. That's
100%.
Beautiful thing. Enjoy all.
Stick around for the SmackDown recap show when we're done here.
Yeah, as soon as we're done. It was supposed to be midnight, but if you guys don't care, maybe we'll finish this up. It won't be.
Yeah, we're running late.
Midnight. We're running a little late.
Yeah.
So we had sweaty Mark Henry doing the split screen thing, which was cool. I love this. My apartment is it? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're on that team.
And
I like 68. I'm at 68. You guys are at 60. I'm sleeping on the floor. Heat rises.
Here's the thing too. I saw the forecast for Chicago, and it's going to be cold in the hotel.
Yeah, it's gonna be a chilly September 4th for you, my friend.
All right, I'm ready. I got my sleep mat. I'll be there.
Sleep mat.
My sleep mat.
I think you have a bed this trip.
Do I? Wow, moving up.
Wow.
Fuck.
It's just me and you, bro.
And it's 73. That's crazy.
So, what'd you guys think of the Britt Baker match?
You know, I wondered, maybe I'm being worked. Was her arm really bothering her? Like, did you notice she kept wiggling her fingers? And like, am I being worked like Hawk here? Or
well, I mean, she really has an injury.
Yeah,
like that's
she does.
But man, they were smashing her arm. So like, if it's really broken or something, like that's a pretty harsh thing to do to a real injury.
I mean, and you know there was no way in the world she was missing this match in her hometown to go back like that with as popular as she is.
No.
This is what I always say, guys. These little things like this is the beauty of pro wrestling. Yeah. When they can work
100%.
the marks. When you
100%.
Like we're sitting here, we've watched wrestling for 30 plus years. Tom's at 40 plus, probably. What, 39, 40 years, Tom?
Yeah. 39, 40.
Tom. Been watching wrestling.
So 40 years. 40 years, actually. Holy shit.
Yeah. So like, you're talking about fans who know wrestling. We've watched it for a while, and we're still sitting here. I wonder if her injury's real. They were really hitting that. You know, like it's that type of shit that makes wrestling fun.
It's still real to me.
It is.
It's still real to me, David.
It's still real to me too.
Yep.
So, sounds like it could be a t-shirt.
It's insane to see how over Britt is. I watched her and Wardlow when they were in the IWC wrestling. So awesome to see them shine. Dude, IWC has a ton of great wrestlers. We've had a lot of those guys on the podcast. And Britt is, I said it before earlier in the week. I think right now, they're obviously building her to be a heel, or she is a heel. Yeah. But it's almost like you got to go the Bret Hart move. When she's in Pittsburgh, they love her. She's a baby face in Pittsburgh, but everywhere else be that super heel.
Yeah, but like I said, even on Wednesday, she was still trying to put down Pittsburgh, and it wasn't working. It was great. Yeah. That's how over she is. They all are agreeing with her. Yes, you are the champ. You are the champ.
Everyone loves Britt Baker. It's tough to keep her a heel because they root for her regardless of what she says.
They love it. They love her.
The whole crowd's chanting, "Here we go, Britsburg. Here we go."
Yeah.
Macho Man is gone, Nick, but we do have the aprons. We did hit the aprons tonight, so we're getting the full value.
So we did get Statlander Britt. I feel like that's getting set up.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you guys this: do you want to see that match yet, or would you rather they let it build up a little more?
I wish they would build it up more, but we need someone for All Out.
There's got to be somebody.
That is true, and then we get the big return at the end of the match.
Yeah, Nick from Ring Fanatics brought this up earlier. Thoughts on Jamie Hayter? Here's the thing. I love it because when Jamie Hayter was in AEW 2 years ago,
she's been gone for a long time.
We were hot. This was pre-pandemic, because her and B. Priestley were coming over from New Japan and Stardom, I believe. She's totally reinvented her look. Jamie Hayter is a beast. She is a great worker. She stood out to me 2 years ago when she was on the show. So I'm really excited to see what she does. She's a great heel, and to put her with Britt, I feel like that is them making up their mind. We want to keep Britt a bad guy. Because to have her come out and attack Statlander and Red Velvet like that, I thought it was genius.
Dressed all in black.
I think the most important thing is we finally see a foundation laid for the whole women's division now.
Yep.
Like I felt like that's what the end did tonight, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Red Velvet?
She lost.
I don't care about her.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Very astute observation from you.
Yeah, like she never captured me. I didn't really,
She's grown on me. I'm not super high on her, but she's definitely grown on me.
I'm going to say something that people are going to shit all over me for, and I've said it multiple times on the podcast. I think if you watch some of her work, and she's green still. She's still growing as a performer, but if you watch some of her work, you can see early NXT Sasha Banks in her. She's not Sasha Banks. I mean, Sasha Banks is Sasha Banks. But if you look at Sasha Banks early in NXT, a lot of the way she moves in the ring, I just think she's probably a huge fan of Sasha because some of her suicide dives onto the outside look almost identical to Sasha Banks. Yeah. How she does that move. There's a lot of stuff I see. Now, if she keeps progressing, maybe she gets. You can't say anyone's going to be as good as Sasha. Sasha's one of the best, but I see a lot of early Sasha in Red Velvet. Just in body type, they have similar body types. The way she works,
I agree. That's a very fair comparison, actually. And like you said, she's still so young, and she's only going to get better.
Yeah, we'll see. And plus, she's married. She's tied into the Briscoes, man. Her father-in-law is Jerry Briscoe.
That's big.
She's married to Wes Briscoe.
Ruby Soho's a good surprise for All Out. I think that would be.
We're getting that.
I think that's definitely happening.
What do you put that percentage at, Sneed?
100.
100.
Yeah, I'll go 100 on that.
All right. Yeah.
See, Anthony knows. Anthony sees the writing on the wall. I'm not saying Sasha today. Come on. I would be an idiot. I would say early pre Bailey Sasha Brooklyn NXT takeover, way before that.
If you think she can go to WWE and be the women's champion right now, that's fine. That's your opinion.
Put the fucking title on her, man.
That's like your opinion, man.
Put her over Charlotte. Just have her go.
Over Charlotte.
Yeah.
Take the belt off Nikki Ash. So what did you guys think of the way they ended it with the run in and all of that?
I loved it. I loved everything about it. Like I said, it laid a whole foundation down for the women's division now. Like more than just I felt the women's title, which is what the whole women's division has really been, other than random matches here and there. Nobody's really been in many storylines other than a women's title match, and now it feels like there'll be some other stuff going on.
And it gave Brett legitimacy as a heel with the run in with Hayter.
Yep.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And you need a female faction. I had mentioned that a couple months ago. I'm like, if they really want to build the women's division, like give the women factions. It feels like they're always flying solo, or they'll come down with like one other person or something. But like, I don't know, maybe lay the foundation for actually a legit like inner circle type, elite type shit.
Truthfully, for you to make that observation, Hawk, in the fog of style and grace you're in right now, I think that's extremely well thought out and put together, because it's very true. It's very true, because if you look, they've done such a great job in the men's division of putting a shine on a lot of guys by putting them in factions together. If you want to build the women's roster, put a couple factions together. I mean, there's shit tons of men factions. Why not throw some women together?
Yeah.
And it's perfect. It's a perfect role for Britt to lead that. I was kind of thought maybe Chelsea Green was going to head over there before she signed with every other company and do something with her, and because they're good friends. But it's exciting to see that they are doing it with someone, and especially bringing Jamie back. It's exciting.
Yeah, female factions is a good idea. So much talent on that roster. Great way to feature more females on the limited time they're getting. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I'd like to see Thunder Rosa set up in a feud with somebody.
Yeah, Britt, Jamie, and Rebel. Love it.
Well, yeah,
it's going to be fun.
To me.
Plus, if Britt's injury is legit, this gives her some muscle to kind of do the dirty work while she rehabs that injury.
Yeah. She doesn't have to work as much.
So let's go around the horn. What were your just overall takeaways, and give a 1 to 5 star ranking for the show? And you can do 4.3, 4.4, you can do decimals. Let's do this.
Wow. For their first episode, I'll give it like a 4.75. I didn't even know. It was so good. I loved the presentation. I told you how I felt like an old school Saturday night's main event where it felt special. I loved everything about it. I'll go 4.75.
I'll mirror that, Tom. I'll go 4.75 too. I think the show was top to bottom an hour of solid, just marquee matches, and I loved it. I thought it was an amazing show, and it makes me look forward to the future of what Rampage can be.
100%.
What do you think?
3.5. There was some early camera work I wasn't really a fan of, and I think that if you give it a 4.7 so early, like where do you go from there? Like, come on. Wow. You go earlier. First episode of Rampage and yours 4.75. Holy shit, make him earn it.
I see what you're saying, Hawk, because it was good. I'm going to give it a solid 4.
Okay.
I'll give it it's a great start, great match, but this is just tip of the iceberg to me. I think there's going to be really big things coming. I'm not going to hand out high scores.
But here's my question for you, Chad. What could they have done to make it any higher tonight? It was such a good show.
But you're almost, by giving it a 4.7, you're like, you've peaked out. Like that.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. Like,
I didn't give it a 5, but you had Omega versus Christian. Christian got the title win. You had the Miro match. It was short but booked so well. And then you had Britt Baker in our hometown. I love it.
No, here's the thing, dude. On a scale from 1 to 5, to me, a 4 is a solid score.
It is. It's a
solid
3.5
score.
Solid. That's
above average. That's way above average.
When I give out my scores, I like to think what could they have done to make it better, make me rate it higher, and there's not much they could have done tonight.
You just have no imagination. Then, I mean, in my mind, they can get way better.
It can get way better. I'm giving my scores solely on the single show, not for what the future can be.
I agree.
I'm just giving it on this.
But then for you, like, we're gonna ask this every week, like, what's your score? And it's always like 4.75.
It's not always
4.9. It's like, no, you gotta. Nope.
Hey, don't tell me how to give my scores, man.
You gotta hedge your bets, right, Hawk?
For sure.
Hey, give your scores how you want to give your scores. I'll give mine. That's the beauty of it.
You talk to Anthony; he'll give you his whole calculation of how he comes up with his star ratings.
He's got some algebra equation that he puts his ratings with. I think it's a solid 4, man. And you say, Tom, what could they have done, dude? They could have had Daniel Bryan run down. They could have had Malachi Black come out and take out Kenny Omega. There could have been a shit ton of things they could have done.
All kinds of good things could have happened.
Cody could have retired. John Cena could have been in a plane crash for Hawk, and he would have loved it.
That's funny. Okay, all fair points.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's Rampage, guys.
I can't wait for next week's.
Yeah.
Any predictions? Any final predictions before we get off and let Tom venture into the wonderful world of SmackDown?
Any predictions for next week? CM Punk shows up. Going out on a limb.
It's a shaky limb in Sneed's world.
I think it'll be a solid show again next week. We'll see who shows up.
What's your final percent, Sneed? What's your percentage on CM Punk showing up at Rampage next week?
90. I'll give 90.
Wow, it went up 3% from like a half hour ago.
I mean, there's a good chance it happens, but I'm not going to be at 100% until he walks out.
Yeah,
I don't know how anybody could be at 100% until he walks out.
SFG, man. See, the fact that it's 4 a.m. UK time and you're here with us,
awesome, man.
we appreciate it.
Hats off to you, brother.
Yeah, thank you for watching that late at night.
What are we gonna feel like if CM Punk doesn't show up? He's just gonna go.
Gonna feel like a bunch of assholes.
Lose a quarter of their fan base just out of spite. Like,
I think they might lose more than a quarter of their fan base if he doesn't show up. Nobody in Chicago will ever watch AEW again if he doesn't show up next week.
I'm gonna make a prediction that Malachi Black somehow plays into next week's Rampage. Not with CM Punk. I think CM Punk and Darby will have a thing, but I think Malachi Black will somehow play into next week's Rampage. That's my guess.
What if CM Punk doesn't show up and Daniel Bryan shows up next week?
What a swerve that would be.
And then Punk shows up at All Out.
Yeah, what if they do that? What if they do that swerve?
Dude,
but do you think if they do that, he gets booed? If they want to bring him as a heel, that's a perfect time to do it.
Dude, you have a sold out United Center. If you don't deliver CM Punk, it's not going to be good.
It's true.
It's not. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you trot out. We always say they trot people out.
And there's a 10% chance that they don't bring CM Punk out.
You know what would be really like?
No, it would be brand suicide, dude. It would waste the last year of their work.
We'll see what happens.
They'd be starting from the bottom again.
If it breaks that CM Punk is really at that heel screening next week, can you imagine if it breaks he's really seen at that heel screening? As people are in at this, holy crap. And he just runs over there at the end because
I hope that's what he does. I hope
that would be awesome.
Did you see his story on IG today?
No.
He had a little blurb on CM Punk's story today. He wrote something up about a time in ROH, like he was looking back on a time in ROH. And the way he ended his little writing was, nothing is dead until it's underground. Whatever Darby's tattoo says, that's how he ended it. So he's dropping hints, like it's coming.
They're dropping hints. He's dropping hints. He's going to be there.
It's no question, regardless of Sneed's 90%. Sneed needs to do Steiner math. His 90% is actually 100%.
I mean, if we're going 100% for CM Punk, it's 90% because nothing's ever 100% with that guy. So 90% of him showing up is pretty much 100%.
You lost me.
Yep.
But but I'm not giving it 100 until he walks out on the stage.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that's the Rampage recap for the week. I hope you guys tune in every Friday.
Stick around right after this. You're going to get more of this guy's face.
Yeah, you got young Anthony will be jumping on for the SmackDown recap, and I hear it was a good show.
It actually was a solid show, but
I hear it was a good show. So,
wait, can I just say it was a good show for WWE?
Right.
I think AEW spoiled me too much.
Yeah,
I remember Tom was low on AEW.
Yeah,
I remember that. Listening to my first appearance when I called into the
we
Tavern.
Watched it grow.
Yep.
So, yeah, you guys, please, if you're not subscribing, click that subscribe button. Click the bell so you know when we go live. We go live a lot. And we'll see you guys next week.
And I'll see you guys in 5 minutes.
And Tom and Anthony will see you in 5 minutes. Say bye, Hawk.
Bye.
Say it better. Hawk, you got to say it better than that, man.
See ya. Fuck you. Fuck you.